Welcome to Flamin' Takes. Let's talk cricket. The fifth test between England and India at the Oval, held later this week. So exciting matchup we've got in front of us, and with the series at 2-1 in favour of England, England will do whatever within their powers to leave the series with the victory, and to do so, they either have to win, and that'll be a 3-1 result, or draw the game to have it at 2-1 and reclaim what was formerly known as the Patel Trophy, and it's now known as the Anderson Tendulkar Trophy. So, exciting match in prospect. The big out for India is Rishabh Pant, who's fractured his foot as a result of an attempted reverse sweep in the first innings. So we've got an interesting position with the Indian side, and the big talking point for me as far as selection over the course of the series has been the non-selection of Indian batsman Abhimanyu Easwaran. And Easwaran, who has had a magnificent career in domestic cricket in the first class scene, has been a frequent member of the Indian touring squads, but has unfortunately hasn't had his first Test cap over the last 3 years, where he was actually selected in the squad for the 2022 tour of England, and he didn't make his debut there, and he's been part of the squad since then, and that includes the Border Gavaskar Trophy held over the 24-25 season, and this series we've got in front of us. Easwaran is a batsman who's averaging close to 50 in first class cricket, and he's scored over 7,000 first class runs. So it's a big sample size, and he was actually made the captain of the India A team, which was part of the touring party to England over the last couple of months. And in those tour games, because the big knock on him has been his inability to perform in the tour games leading into the series, where in this tour, in these two games, he actually scored a 50. I think it was 57 in the first game, and he scored 82 or thereabouts in the second tour game. So he did a good job in those tests, but like he didn't score 100. So he did that work against him, because when we got to the first test, we saw Sai Sudarshan picked for the number 3 spot, and Eastwarren, he actually batted at number 3 in the tour games, so to try perhaps fit into that opening which was present for the series. So Sudarshan took it, Karan Nair took the other batting spot, and from that point, that was the first test combination. Sudarshan was dropped for the second test, with Nair elevated from 6 to 3, and then the configuration of the batting lineup changed, with being more lent towards the all rounders and bowlers, with the inclusion of Washington Sundar into the lineup. So we have this fifth test selection where Rishabh Pant won't be playing. So you got Dhruv Jurel, who's the backup keeper, and he played a test match in Perth last summer against the Aussies, and it had some terrific A team performances leading into that series, which got him the selection. So he'll be taking the keeper spot. But the question is, can you fit Easwaran in? He's not going to take Sudarshan's spot, because Sudarshan scored 61 in the previous game in the fourth test, and even though he scored a golden duck in the second innings, it's unlikely he's going to be dropped. So you'll have Sudarshan there. At number 4, you got Gill. Then you got number 5, which is where Pant is normally. But Jurel, I wouldn't see him going to 5. It's going to be, what's this middle order to lower order going to look like? Because the bowling lineup could change. I've been always a bit I've always found it a bit funny with the Indians that they do have Jadeja at 6, who plays equally as a bowler and a batsman, but they always seem a bit they're light when it comes to that middle to lower order. And Washington Sundar, he's made 100 in the previous test. He's a very capable batsman. I wouldn't be inclined to put him up back to number 5 or have him. You could have him at 7. Jadeja's at 6. So, and I wouldn't bump up Jadeja to 5 and then have Sundar at 6, for instance. You've got Jarrell. So you're not going to have Jarrell at 5, and you don't think Jadeja's going to move from 6. So Jarrell could be either 5 or 7 or potentially 8 if you put Sundar up. The question is, with this all-rounder setup where it really starts from position 6, or even 5 when you consider Rishabh Pant as a wicket-keeper batsman, the Indians have to find this... the Indians always seem they're slightly light in terms of batting if the top 4 don't fire. And in this series, KL Rahul and Shubman Gill have been batting lights out. And Jaiswal scored a ton in the first test. And, that other batsman, whether it was Karun Nair or Sudarshan, has Nair in 2 tests at second and third tests, batting at number 3. His top score was 40. Sudarshan scored 61 in the last test. So that's the highest score for that 4th batsman, if you like, in the top order. So Jadeja's really been crucial because and Pant, because they've really they've done a great load of scoring in terms of the rest of the order. But now you don't have Pant, and to rely on Jadeja in this dual role is putting a lot of responsibility on him. I think the Indians would be better off if you added an extra batsman and you took off one of those all-rounders. So you've got the lower order where you have Shardul Thakur, Washington Sundar, Anshul Kamboj, Jasprit Bumrah, and Mohammad Siraj. So you've got 5 players who play as a bowler first. In my opinion, you have to take one out. So if it was me, I'm probably taking off. Well, unless they play Kuldeep Yadav as another spinner, and they get rid of they take one of the paces role. Like Kamboj is probably the one to go if Yadav gets selected. But in any case, I wouldn't take Thakur and Kamboj. I would take 2 out, add an extra bowler. If you got 3. And then you got Sundar, so that's 4 bowlers plus Jadeja, which is 5. And that extra spot I would give to Easwaran. I think he's done the yards. 15 players before him have made their debut for India since he was in the side, since he was in the squad for the Indian Test side, and he's due a game, and I think this test would be a perfect time to include him. There's a necessity for another top order batsman, someone at number 5 to deliver for the nation. And I think Eastwaran's hungry. He's earned his spot. He's done so well over the last he's done well to keep his spot in the squad for the last 3 years, and he's maintained his domestic record during that period. Select Eastwaran. I would go and have him at whether you keep Sudarshan at 3 or you put Sudarshan at 5, I'd be inclined to put Eastwaran at 3, Sudarshan 5, and really go hard from the batting front. The Indians, they're gonna have to bat well, and I think if you're putting so much weight on the all-rounder function, be it Sundar, Jadeja, Jarrell, Thakur, it could work against you at some point. And I think Jadeja's really held the team together. He's been so crucial as far as the runs, the middle to lower order runs are concerned. And I think it's time to play Eastwaran and give that balance with the top order, just that extra depth with that specialised batsman. Perfect time to give him his debut. He's earned it, and I'm sure he's raring to go. So it'll be an interesting 5th test. I think the Indians have a lot. They're gonna have to win the game, so they're gonna have to do something special with either the bat or ball, or ideally both. So let's see how that plays out. And if you enjoyed this video, please hit the like and subscribe buttons. And for more content, at Flame and Takes, we cover all sports. So stay tuned for more content. And we'll see how this 5th test goes. Thanks for listening.